Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to Vital Storm's webinar, where we're going to be addressing the upcoming busy season in light of the new normal for home service companies. And so, in fact, many of the measures we're talking about today should really already be in place for most of you guys if you hope to capitalize fully on the season ahead. But, we also know what the increased temperatures mean for the home service industry. And we also know that this season is a little unlike any of the others. And so, with the status of the economy, COVID-19, I don't think it would be too much of a stretch to assume that many providers like yourself are a bit anxious about the next several weeks and couple months ahead. So, let's dive in, Josh. I'm going to turn
Yep.
things over to you and everybody. Josh is one of the leaders and founders over here at Vital Storm, and he's going to cover some of the main topics of this webinar. So let's dive in, Josh.
Yeah, thanks, Austin. So as Austin shared with you all, I'm one of the founders here. My partner Jeff and I, we started Vital Storm several years ago, and look, I'm excited to be on this webinar today. The busy season is approaching. You all know this. It's nothing new for you, home service company owners. And one of the first conversations we have with home service company owners like yourself at the cusp of a season like this, and we all know this one's a little different because of COVID-19, the very first thing is take an account of your digital marketing. There's a few things you need to go through. First, what is working? What's worked in the past? Where are you strong? And of course, those want to be areas that you want to shore up and make sure you're strong again this season. Another important area is, where are you lacking? It's important to always be going back and seeing maybe where you weren't strong the season before, and what can you do to beef it up this time around. Also, are there things that you have not seen value in the past? Consider researching those again. Talk to your digital marketing partner, whoever is your provider, about those things. There's several areas in digital marketing that you probably haven't implemented, or maybe you've tried in the past and they didn't prove successful then. Things have changed. There's always new features, especially with Google Ads. There's new features all the time. The market adapts. People change. Users change. And so what may not have worked in the past, we've talked to, it seems like countless home service companies that say, social media just doesn't seem to work for me. Well, it's working for a lot of home service companies. Maybe the right strategy just hasn't been stumbled upon by you. So take an account. The market adapts. People change. The world changes. And so when you're facing the busy season, the idea, right, is to capitalize on that season. One thing my partner Jeff at Vital Storm always says is, you gotta make hay when the sun is shining. I don't think he made that up, but he's the only person I've ever heard say that. But it's so true. You gotta make hay when the sun is shining. And so we don't want to be sitting on some old strategy when the new season comes around.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Josh. And before we dive too far into this discussion, I did want to mention to everybody here that we've got numerous free resources that are available on our brand new website that actually launched about a month ago. It looks great, so definitely go check it out. But the resources you see on the right side of your screen there are some of the things that are available to you guys. And so the ultimate guide to PPC, for example, that comes from a decade of doing PPC for home services. So that's definitely a great resource to check out. The website analyzer, if you've never done something like that, let us take a look at it. All it can do is help, just basically kind of give you a general overview of how your website's performing. And the same thing with that ultimate guide to local social media. That's a big topic. Social media is a big channel to build your market and build your brand on. But some companies, they just don't know where to start. And so keep in mind these free resources, they are available to you. You can grab them at any point in time on our website. We'll also be sending over some information on how to get those after this. But just keep that in mind as Josh starts to dive in and cover each one of these topics in a little more depth.
Absolutely. Austin, you mentioned social media, right? And so on that topic, social media might be a bigger factor than you think. It's certainly part of what you need to take an account of. Yes, it could be a place to drive leads, but it's not going to be like PPC or SEO. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be in social, that you shouldn't have a social media strategy. More than leads, more than driving leads, social media is a place for you to tell the full story of your company and who you are. And this means a lot in the home services industry. And we'll talk about the impact of COVID-19 here in a little bit, but especially now when people are concerned about the folks they invite into their home, social media is a great place for you to share the story of who you are. They get to see behind the curtain. They see you, they see the people in your company that make your organization as great as it is. And they also get to see other users, other customers utilizing your services and expressing, their gratitude, their appreciation for what you've done. And it's just a place, again, to tell the story of your brand where it comes across a little bit more genuine than if it's on your website. And so I don't think I have to convince many of you about the benefits of social. We're all there. We all use social media. We all understand. But there's power in it for your business, even if you didn't realize a benefit from it in the past. Think about this. There's 4 billion people using social media on this planet.
Yeah.
How many of those people are in your market? It's not all 4 billion. I'm sure of that. But there's several thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people in your area that are on social media. You just got to find a way to get in front of them, and it's all about the right strategy. So remember, we're taking in account of our digital marketing situation as we're preparing and positioning ourselves for the new busy season ahead. You gotta think about social media. Moving on from that, are you leveraging PPC to its fullest extent? Search is huge for home service companies, right? There's a specific number of people, for all you plumbers who are watching out there, there's a specific number of people who woke up this morning and needed a plumber. And so your business is all about, your marketing strategy is all about capturing that demand. And so you can't really create that demand outside of sending crews out to go break pipes and things like that. But we all know that's illegal. But you can capture the demand, and the demand is there. There's enough. You might not believe this, but there's more than enough demand for you and all your competitors. The key is having that right strategy. But beyond the search element, there are other things that you need to consider. So if you're taking notes, write these things down, because these are things you're going to want to talk to your PPC people, your marketing provider or expert about this. What about display ads? I know we've in the past have talked to home service companies that have tried using Google Display or YouTube, and it didn't seem to work. Well, things are changing, and not just the features and those channels have changed and become more targeted, but also users have changed. And so consider display. And for search, where I hope all of you are, everyone who's watching, I hope you have a solid search strategy in place, because again, that's where you're going to capture all that demand. But for the search, have you implemented the smart bidding strategies? So write down smart bidding, because you're going to want to talk to your PPC people about that too, because we're not proponents in going full AI and just having some algorithm run your campaign, some big black box that you input data into and it just runs on its own. There's some of those big outfits out there that you can go online, you can sign up, put your credit card in, tell them how much to spend, and you're good. You want to have humans on your account with their hands in the account every single day. However, we also need to take advantage of those smart bidding capabilities that Google now provides for us, where based on machine learning and artificial intelligence, your your bidding can be done multiple times throughout the day without having a human do it. And the same with your placement. There's so many ways to optimize your accounts now. There's so many ways to optimize your spending, your bidding. And this is super important, because we all know in home services that cost per click is literally through the roof. And I don't see any reason why that would change. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing it. Don't leave it to your competitors to figure it out. We need to be in there. You need to be in there. And so you're taking into account of your digital marketing presence. When it comes to search, are you utilizing display? Are you exploring display? Are you utilizing smart bidding? And then also something new, write this down as well, discovery campaigns. Discovery campaigns are a new thing from Google. And it's it comes from the same intent as social media, although you're not going to see this on social media platforms, but it will be on Google properties like Gmail and YouTube and others, right? But it's a new platform. It's something for us to be exploring. If you're in home services and you're putting funds towards digital marketing, as you should be, also be looking at discovery campaigns. And then finally, look at YouTube. Make sure that you are exploring how to use YouTube as a way to drive traffic or build awareness for your brand. And I get it. You're probably thinking, why is anyone in the world going to want to watch a video from an AC repair company or a plumber or an electrician on YouTube? And we all understand the DIY videos that you can put out there and people go to. But I think we're missing the point if we only see it through that lens. Think about this. You're on YouTube every single day, maybe multiple times a day. You may not be going there to look for a service, but you went online to look for a service, and then you went to YouTube to do whatever the heck you wanted to do. It doesn't matter why you're on YouTube. You can still get in front of those people. And there's ways to do it and capture that intent. So talk to your digital marketing people about YouTube. Okay, and finally, SEO. This is probably the most controversial one on the list, and it's because we've all heard it. You know, at Vital Storm, we talk to a ton of home service company owners or their marketing managers or executives, and they've all been through it. I don't know if I've ever met, Austin, have you ever met a home service company owner that hasn't been burned by SEO?
I don't think so, not yet.
I mean, seriously, it's sort of a thing where it's a common thing in this industry, and I believe it's because, you know, there's no regulation out there for SEO. Anybody can print, like my business partner also says, print some business cards and call yourself an expert. It happens, and so, but that doesn't mean that SEO isn't for you. You just need the right strategy. You need the right partner. You need someone you can trust. Build a game plan for SEO and then go out and attack on it. Like I said, it's the most controversial piece because everyone's been burned by some sort of so-called SEO expert. But we've got to be involved in the SEO game if we want to drive leads online and not be fully dependent upon paid search. It's our belief, our advice is that you should have a great digital mix it up, and have enough in paid and enough in organic. So things to think about for SEO. It's not just first page Google ranking anymore, although, you know, that's the unicorn now. That's what we all want. We all want to be first on Google's home, you know, first page number one, spot number one. Might not always happen, but there's just the search engine results page. There's also GMB. You know, what are you doing for your GMB account so that it's actually seen and collecting reviews and getting clicks and calls, leads come through your Google My Business page. Also reviews. All right, I already mentioned that for GMB, but getting reviews on GMB, getting reviews on Facebook, even Yelp. I know I just said a curse word, and I'm sorry I said the word Yelp, but we've got to address it, and so we need reviews on Yelp. Also, when you're thinking about SEO, you're missing the boat if you're not thinking about mobile search, because that boat's already left the dock, right? But also voice search. And I get it. We're not under the impression that people are just running to voice search and saying, Google, find me a plumber. No, but that will happen. It eventually will. One of my favorite stories to help people understand how voice search is going to make an impact on the way we search the web isn't really with search. It has to do with technology, and it's Uber, right? I remember when Uber first came on the scene, I thought, how is that ever going to be successful? And here I am admitting that I'm an idiot because Uber is super successful. But my thoughts were, I'm not going to take the time to download an app and then get in a car with a stranger. Yeah, I'm completely forgetting that I've ridden in a taxi before, but that just never crossed my mind. And then thinking about, you know, putting a loved one or my wife or kids in an Uber and sending them away. But I can't even tell you how many Ubers I've been in. When I travel for business, I might be in 12 Ubers over that 3 days that I'm gone. And so why is everyone on, you know, so trusting of a stranger to come pick them up? Because it was provided by this device that's in their hands that they trust and they can't live without. And so that adapted the way people travel in their ground transportation. What do you think is going to happen when everybody gets really used to using voice search? Right now, it's kind of archaic. You speak you speak the way you used to search. Right now, you just search the way you want. It's like, but it will become more familiar, and so we need to be optimizing our websites today. I'm spending a little extra time on voice search because I don't think it's talked about enough, but it needs to be part of your SEO strategy. So don't throw away SEO because SEO 5, 6, 7 years ago didn't work. It's a different world now.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Josh. I completely agree. And just kind of taking all that information in, being in the industry for, 5 years, myself, it just can seem a little daunting when you take a look at your whole web presence in general.
Yep.
But everybody on here, if you feel maybe the same way that others do, or maybe myself, let me remind you that you didn't go into business or marketing because you thought it would be easy. There's challenges, and in many cases, the ones who don't give up, the ones who turn over every stone, they try every new thing.
That's it.
They put in all that work. Those are the businesses that you see succeeding in today's world. And so, don't forget, there are partners out there to help. If you're not working with a provider and it just seems like it's too big of a mountain to climb, there's people out there that can help you do this stuff. Delegate. That's the one word you take away from today is just delegate your marketing. You need and should be leveraging a team that's going to step up to the plate. They're going to look down the pitcher in the eye and they're going to go to bat for you. And it's your brand, it's your business. You need someone that's going to work for you. So, and that really kind of leads into the next thing here is the next point really to cover is implementing new strategies in today's world.
Absolutely. So we've taken an account of where we are in our marketing. We found where we're strong, where we're not. Maybe we're willing to try some things we've tried in the past because we're open and hopeful that there's been improvements. And so like Austin said, now we implement new strategies. Like I said, or like my partner says, got to make hay when the sun is shining. And so let's not, let that sun shine without us, harvesting as much hay. Yeah, I couldn't make it sound as eloquent as I hope that would. But anyways, new strategies. You take those strengths and you double down on them, and then you take those weaknesses and you figure out where you could take advantage. Again, I'm going to go back to one of the things I mentioned, discovery campaigns. Again, think about using the use of discovery campaigns. If there's anything that you do after this webinar is you pick up the phone and you call your marketing person, team, company, partner, whoever it is, and you ask them, tell me about Google discovery campaigns, or you search for them. Now, this is something that's new. There's agencies that have been testing these for a little while, but there's plenty of literature out there to help get you up to speed on what discovery campaigns are and how they help you. It's just another way of getting in front of the search and targeting intent. So think about discovery campaigns. Again, I had to be mentioned again. I skipped over one, which was smart bidding, right, Austin? We got to make sure that we're implementing the smart bidding. Those are two things I already mentioned, so I won't spend too much more time on those. But take these notes and share them. Screenshot this right now and just send it to your marketing person. Facebook ads is another one. Again, I've talked to a lot of home service company owners or their marketing team, and they've told me, Josh, we've tried Facebook ads and it really didn't do much. Well, maybe you didn't try the right thing. I've also talked to home service companies that have, found a way to drive leads. And it might not just be about driving leads. I've talked to one home service company in particular in the Alabama area, and he was launching a new division in the southern part of the state. And so he used Facebook ads to get his name out there and start building a brand, and had the budget to do it, saw the value in it, and is now happy with the following he has there in that region, that new market, so that as he starts driving traffic and running lead gen campaigns, he's got that brand awareness already there. And that's another thing when you're going, the things we're talking about right here right now with discovery campaigns, and we mentioned Facebook ad right here, and we mentioned YouTube ads earlier. That's upper funnel stuff. And so you might not be driving leads upper funnel yet. It will produce leads later. And when it produces those leads should help with that demand capture cost at the bottom of the funnel, because people are already aware. And imagine how much more beneficial would it be for someone or efficient for your marketing budget for someone not to just search for a Dallas plumber, but they search for you if you're that Dallas plumber. And so that's the idea of those upper funnel techniques and campaigns and strategies. That's the word I was looking for, strategies. If you're managing your own PPC account and you don't have a partner doing it, which I recommend that you have, like Austin said, he said, delegate those tasks to an expert. Look, you're an expert at running a home service company, and you may love running your PPC account, and that's great. If you're doing a successful job at it, go for it. But we always recommend that you hire a pro, hire an expert to come in and manage those campaigns for you. However, for those of you that are managing your PPC account, wanted to give you something, because the busy season's here and you might not feel like you have the time to go and hire that person. So here's I think we got 9 tips here, Austin, is that right?
Yeah.
Number 1, use the search terms in your headline and your ad text. I know that sounds really basic, really simple, but you won't believe how many PPC text ads I see, Austin sees, we all see out there where they're not doing this. It's basic 101. That's why I put it number 1. Start there. Put those search terms in your headline text and ad text, because it's this simple. I'm going to blow your mind. When they're there, those words become bolded. That's it. That's the only reason I'm telling you to do it, because it makes those words bold. And what that does now is it makes your real estate on that 3-pack of ads stand out. That's all it is. We want those to stand out. Number 2, use all the ad extensions that you can. There's call extensions, there's location extensions, there's offers extensions, there's all kinds of extensions that you should be using. Now you can't guarantee that they're always going to show. That's up to Google. But when you add as many extensions to your ad, and if you don't know what those are, Google, you'll see a screenshot of what the ad extensions look like, and utilize the ad extensions, because it creates more space. It takes up more real estate, and it makes your ads more attractive. That's one thing you should consider when you're running your PPC on your own, or if you've got a team running your PPC, do some searches. Now, don't click on your ads, because it's only going to affect your budget. But look at your ads and compare how they look. Are there ad extensions? Are there search terms in the headline and the ad text to bold and stand out? Number 3 is, build out more ads than you need and test. Just go crazy, overdo it, right? Build out way more ads than you think you need, and then test them. You can delete the ones and retire the ones and pause the ones that you don't use, but build out as many ads as possible. That way you can continue to, broaden your net, and so much of marketing is also learning. It's experimenting. And so do that in your ad account. All right, number 4. Okay, while we're still dealing with this COVID-19 situation, and I know many states are every state is already at some phase of reopening, we still need to communicate that you're open. Make it clear, because there's fear, there's uncertainty out there, there's doubt, but people they need service. And so just make it abundantly clear that you're open. You drive through town, you see restaurants still have the banners that say, yes, we're open. You should do the same thing in your ads. Have your team have COVID language in your ad text so that there's an awareness, but also let them know that you're open. Okay, number 5, groom your negative keyword list weekly. That's one thing we see people overlook all the time. Continue to add negative keywords to that. Add search terms and negative keyword list. Keep that thing growing and growing and growing. It's just going to make your account more efficient. All right, number 6 is, if you aren't doing call tracking, stop everything right now and do call tracking. I mean, seriously. you've got to do call tracking. There's so many resources out there for call tracking. Even Google has call tracking that you can take advantage of. When you are in home services, it's all about the call. You got to get the call. Even those, I know sometimes you can even book online, but for the overwhelming majority of your leads, they're going to come through a call. And if it's a form submission, it turns into a call. So do call tracking so you know how many calls you're getting. And go even further than knowing how many calls you're getting. Have someone qualify those leads, and don't just trust a call count. What is a real qualified lead count inside that list of calls? All right, number 7 is measure the ad text performance by monitoring your click-through rate. If your click-through rate is dropping, or it's not high enough, or it's not where it needs to be, it's most likely because the ad text doesn't resonate with the people searching. Another thing that most people overlook, and this is something my business partner points out all the time, is that a low click-through rate can also mean that you're not showing your ads to the right people at the right time. And so your ad text your click-through rate is a key indicator of how well your ad text is doing. Plus, it can also shed some light on your targeting. Okay, number 8, measure click to calls. There's a ratio of how many clicks to calls to determine the effectiveness of your landing page. Okay, so you can spend all this time dreaming up the best PPC campaign. You can test it, you can research it, you can build it, launch it, get it out there. But if those landing pages aren't doing the job, you're just paying for people to go to those pages and bounce off. And so you want to measure how many calls or leads you're getting to those clicks. So click to call or even click to lead, let that be a ratio you track frequently. Number 9, this is the last one. Check out that local guide to PPC on our website that Austin was mentioning earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. No, great points, Josh. And it seems like something new is coming into the digital marketing world on almost an every single day basis. And it does kind of seem a little hard to keep up. And so, again, like we've said a couple of times now, just consider a marketing partner, or even consider sending these things to the partner you're already working with. But what about the elephant in the room, Josh? How does a home service company have the time, the resources, the budget, or even the peace of mind to start implementing new strategies with the upcoming busy season while COVID is still looming and we're still kind of slowly starting to open up?
Absolutely. As I wipe my nose, let me talk a little bit about COVID-19. Communicate your commitment to the COVID-19 measures. You gotta do it in this world of home services where you're going into people's homes. They need the certainty. They need the assurance that you are taking those measures seriously. Even if you don't subscribe to what's being shared in the media about COVID-19, consider the feelings of those that are hiring you for a job, and you really got to communicate your commitment to those measures. Again, you're being invited into someone's home, and it's important that they know that you have taken every measure to keep them and their family safe.
Yeah, and I think we've all already seen, I think we probably feel it ourselves, that people are just more skeptical than ever to have a technician come into their home. People aren't even seeing their families. And so, why would they want to have a stranger come into their house?
Yeah.
And so that's why we're here. We're here to try and help make it a little bit easier for you, just to assure your customers and your prospective customers that you guys are taking every step necessary to keep their family and their home safe. As we mentioned earlier, we have numerous free resources available on the site. We said it a couple of times now. But there's another one that has to deal with COVID. And so you guys have probably all seen it. We're recommending to all home service companies to, like Josh said earlier, clearly communicate that you guys are open, your commitment to keeping people safe, and reassure them you guys are taking the steps. And so you may have already seen this, you may already have it. This badge that showcases your zero contact calls or your contact free service technician appointments. And we think this is a great idea, and maybe even moving forward, you continue to do this. And so, this is also a resource that we're making available to you guys. We've created this for you, so everyone here on the webinar will be able to access this and have your team put this on your website, because you certainly don't want to be the only one without this.
That's right.
If it becomes down between you and your competitor, and your competitor has this and you don't, you could probably figure out the answer of who that customer is going to be calling at the end of the day. So again, we'll make this available to you guys at the end of this webinar. Again, you'll get that email with all of these links to all of this information. But Josh, if you are committed to all of these new measures, I know it's some added steps, for these home service companies. I think we're all going to have to adapt to this. And so, in this new normal, as we kind of go through these times, what does it look like moving forward?
Yeah, so I think everyone in home services is familiar with the whole red carpet treatment, right? That was something that really took home services to to the next level. I remember growing up, my dad is still a contractor, and so I grew up in that space, and I grew up around skilled labor and people who are fixing things in the home. And there's these stigmas that go along with that. When you invite someone into your home, they're going to be doing work, so at the very least they could bring dirt and debris into the home. And then you guys who are on this and watching this are very familiar with some of your competition out there that really has no regard for hygiene or their customers' homes or spaces. And that's what set you guys apart, is you implemented some sort of red carpet treatment. You may not call it that, but the red carpet treatment, things like booties and shoe covers, the red carpets or the mats that you put down to protect the flooring. But now consider face masks or coverings. And there's even branded solutions out there where you can have your logo, or even like a real any message that you want to print on these things, so that you're conveying maybe your brand or a heartfelt message of some sort, or continue to build upon the whole security of keeping everyone safe. And so consider making the face coverings. And I know your team's probably going to hate this if you want to do it, but you can sell it to them. This may need to be a part of your red carpet treatment moving forward. I know it certainly is now, because it's a requirement, and states are suggesting this, and at least the state of Texas is, and I know probably where you are, those states are considering that. Another thing that has become normal, kind of the new normal now, and I would like to suggest it stay the new normal, are latex gloves. Just reducing the amount of contact. Not only will it convey that you're trying to keep your customers safe, it could keep them safe, but also keep your technician, your team safe. Also, I know a lot of you are probably doing video chat or FaceTime. Consider making that a part of the routine moving forward. Again, let's step up the red carpet treatment, because there's now a new standard. There's now a new awareness. Like I said earlier, I think people have always been a little concerned about who they invite into their home. That's why you guys have already gone out there, background checked your people, you put them in clean uniforms, put an ID badge on them, and you have them put the booties and the things and and keep everything clean and protected. Now our perspective has changed. I'll give you a story. I talk to home service companies. I understand how they operate. I'm also in marketing, so I know how messaging works. And I'm one of those guys, and don't abort this webinar once you hear this, but I'm one of those guys where I really don't care who I call. But during this COVID-19 world we're in, we had to have somebody come out to our house, and I gave it another thought. Even me, who I get it, I know the industry, but I gave it a second thought. How much more is someone who is totally disconnected from this industry, and all they want to do is get their pipe fixed, or get the electricity working in this side of their house, or get their roof repaired, or their shower is backing up. What do you think their thoughts are now that they've seen the news and they've seen all the measures taken? consider making that a part of your routine. So the FaceTime and the video chat could be a huge thing to keep doing, because it keeps that distance and allows people to feel comfortable and safe. Not only that, it may be super convenient for them to not have to, they can still do it from their bathrobe, right? And not have to, go be presentable and have a conversation. So consider that. Another one is, washing hands between calls. I'm one of those that my wife makes fun of me. Well, not lately, but before COVID-19, made fun of me for just the amount of times I wash my hands. I'm not weird. I'm not strange, or at least that's the way I feel about myself. I'm just a hand washer, right? So I'm a big proponent of that. Like, wash your hands. Like, keep your hands clean. And that might be something you need to continue to do between calls, and even let your customers know that that's important to you. Again, stepping up the red carpet treatment. Also, consider disinfecting. I know many of you are probably doing this now when you're in the home, maybe leaning over a fixture, over a tub, working in a shower, around a toilet. You get dirt and debris on things. Plus, your bodies are touching it, and there's sweat and things. And so you're probably right now disinfecting that because of if you've already implemented a zero contact policy. But consider making that part of the game moving forward, and just disinfect, make it smell good. You're asking your technicians to not smoke and to wear cologne and smell good. Well, make it smell like pine when they leave the bathroom. I mean, that just adds to the value and the benefit of using your service company. Again,
Yeah.
stepping up the red carpet treatment. And then last thing we're going to suggest here, and there's probably a whole list that we could keep going on. Consider going 100% paperless, no leave behinds. Hey, you'll save some money on the printing and the design, but consider no leave behinds, because again, there's contact.
Yep.
And if you also use it as a way to maybe get, someone's text number, their phone number, or get their email address, which you probably already have, but it's just a way to leave something behind and also give them incentive to get more contact info. But go paperless so that you don't have to, so you leave no trace. That's it. Like the Boy Scouts, leave no trace.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And Josh, thanks for all this great information today. And I hope everybody on here has something to take away from this. Whether it's the free resources or the word delegation, or some of these new strategies. I hope you guys can put some of these in place in your business. But thank you guys all again for joining. And please find those free resources, that local guide to PPC, the site analyzer, the social media guide, that contact free badge. All of that stuff's on our website, which is on the screen now, vitalstorm.com. Yeah. You'll also be getting email from myself or Josh, someone from the team here, with a link to this video if you need to share with anybody else, the badge and the resources. So let us know if you have any questions, or how we can help you guys grow your business, implement these new strategies, or get through this busy season in the light of the new normal.